CAL assures Tobagonians that the Airbridge is prioritized. Stakeholder calls for emergency marine response unit. Villagers of Castawa unite against gun violence. And in sport, injury benches Joshua James for the rest of the CPL tournament. Good evening, I'm Patricia Nicholson-Richards. This is the Tobago Updates television news for Friday, 25th August 2023. In the news this evening, over the past few weeks, Tobago Updates has been attempting to establish contact with Caribbean Airlines to have them address concerns regarding the inter-island airbridge. Our attempts were eventually acknowledged, and CAL's head of corporate communications, Dion Ligor, was featured on the Tobago Updates morning show with host Julian Skeet. During the show, she assured Tobagonians about CAL's commitment to prioritizing the airbridge. More in this report from Candice Jackson.
Head of CAL's corporate communications, Dion Ligor, stated that the airline prioritized the airbridge when pilots started calling in sick en masse over the weekend.
Recognizing the events that were taking place in Tobago to protect the airbridge. We want to say a big and huge thank you to the port who quickly mounted a special sailing for Caribbean Airlines customers, accepted our tickets, and were able to, with that, we were able to move persons.
According to Ligor, it is an example of CAL's commitment to the airbridge.
The airbridge is a critical part of the operations of Caribbean Airlines. It is not a service that is operated for profit, as you may well be aware.
Although asserting that the airbridge is not run for profit, CAL consistently voices concerns about losses stemming from its operations. When asked why the airline has not restored the original pre-COVID-19 pandemic flight schedule, Ligor clarified that these choices hinge on different considerations.
The operations of Caribbean Airlines is something that we are continuously reviewing, and the review will remain in the context of broader resource allocations.
In 2019, CAL introduced a $50 change fee aiming to improve the reservation system. The airfare was also increased in January of this year from $300 return to $400. When asked to show how these increased fares are improving the system, Ligor did not provide a direct answer.
Because of the importance of the airbridge, decisions regarding pricing are discussed with the airline and the shareholder. So any movement in terms of price is not an isolated decision by any party. It is a decision that is made by way of lengthy discussions, recognizing the importance of the airbridge to Trinidad and Tobago.
However, she noted that Caribbean Airlines could do better.
As with everything international, domestic, and otherwise, there is always room for improvement. I am owning that. Caribbean Airlines is owning that.
Flights on the airbridge returned to the regular schedule, achieving a 100% on-time departure rate by Thursday. I am Candice Jackson for Tobago Updates Television News.
So if Caribbean Airlines is subsidized by the government, then why isn't more money being invested in the airbridge to meet the demand? This was the question raised by Stephen Cadiz, who held the positions of Minister of Works and Transport, as well as Tourism under the previous People's Partnership government. Cadiz does not understand why Tobagonians are continually frustrated with the inefficiency of the airbridge. Reporter Candice Jackson explores the reasoning behind his sentiment in this report.
Caribbean Airlines receives around $40 million annually in subsidies from the central government, in addition to other fuel-related subsidies. Like its global counterparts, CAL faced severe losses during the COVID-19 pandemic. In 2020, the central government facilitated a $66.5 million loan for the airline. Due to a lack of published audited financial statements for the past few years, the full scope of subsidies, expenses, and earnings remain unknown. Consequently, former Minister Stephen Cadiz disputes CAL's justification for not boosting airbridge flights.
Because I believe that the mandate for CAL is to provide the necessary amount of seats to and from Tobago on a daily basis. And for that, you're going to be subsidized. I mean, when during COVID, Carl was given hundreds of millions of dollars in subsidies to keep them flying.
Before the COVID-19 pandemic, Caribbean Airlines operated 24 flights between Trinidad and Tobago. However, post-pandemic, this number decreased to just 12 scheduled flights. Paradoxically, the airline is expanding its routes and flight frequencies to other destinations within the Caribbean.
Where is that subsidy going? Where is the Tobago subsidy going? Is it going to subsidize St. Vincent flights, Grenada, Barbados, Guyana, Dominica? Carl is now going into Dominica. How can you go and add Dominica and St. Kitts onto your schedule when you have made no provision for taking up the slack for Tobago?
Additionally, former Minister Cadiz questioned how Carl's resources are being used to service the new routes.
You're adding on routes, and the only way you're being able to add additional routes is by taking away routes from Tobago. So it's not to say that you've increased your fleet. You've increased the amount of pilots that you have trained flying on these aircraft. That has not happened.
Cadiz also criticized Carl for its handling of the Airbridge during peak periods, highlighting that the airline possesses prior knowledge to efficiently add essential flights.
That is not rocket science. And especially on a long weekend, they would know way in advance what the seating capacity is going to be, and therefore you have to provide the aircraft. It is not rocket science of what they're doing.
According to Cadiz, neither Caribbean Airlines nor the central government appears to be prioritizing the Airbridge, which he describes as a critical service for Tobago. I am Candace Jackson for Tobago Updates Television News.
The Tobago Tourism Agency Limited TTAL will showcase Tobago at Canada's Tobago Toronto Festival again this year from August 26th to the 27th. The event highlights Tobago's attractions to Trinidad and Tobago's diaspora and the Toronto Festival goers. In a release issued to the media, TTAL explained that last year's Tobago Festival rivaled Beyoncé's crowd, immersing visitors in Trinidad and Tobago's culture. This year's event will occur at Yonge and Dundas Square, spotlighting Trinbagonian culture and cuisine. TTAL's representation includes Deputy Chairman Naseeb Mohammed and Marketing Officer Andrew Jofield, with support from Public Relations Representatives Siren Communications. It is anticipated that participation will boost Tobago's Canadian presence post-COVID. Stay with us, more news to come after the break.
Right now, Tobagonians are just currying down to Bon Accord, right in Stobie Local Road. You know why? To come down and shop at Authentic Builders General Hardware, the only hardware store in Tobago that is giving you guys Trinidad prices. So for instance, such as steel, 1/2 inch and 5/8, $7,895. 5/8 construction ply for $260. Every single thing that you will need to do your home renovation or start your new construction, we have it right here. And to get your quotation, it's very easy. Just WhatsApp us at 272-1990 and we will do your free WhatsApp quotation for you.
Waiting for CXC results and wondering what's next? Or maybe you're looking to switch careers. Learn a skill to jumpstart your career at the NESC Technical Institute. Get qualified for jobs in the energy and industrial sectors, or even start your own business. Choose from automotive, electrical, instrumentation, drilling, welding, fabrication, AC refrigeration, IT networking, and more. NESC diplomas are gate approved. Classes begin in September. Visit nesc.edu.tt to apply.
So your car break down.
Oh, no, not again.
And you're worried paying a wrecker could mean a pocket breakdown too. But when you're insured with Tatil, no stress.
Yes!
A Tatil motor policy has lots of benefits that protect your pocket, like free roadside assistance. That's free 24/7 every time, as many times as you need. Tatil, where people are people. A member of the Ansa McCall Group.
Welcome back. Castara residents are standing firmly and displaying a united front against gun violence after a recent incident which shook the community. Here are the details.
In the past, if villagers disagreed with a resident's conduct, they would assemble with pitchforks at a person's doorstep to compel them to leave. However, in Castara, they now make collective public declarations. Thus, when a gun-related incident unfolded, they voiced their concerns.
The actions of one individual have cast a dark shadow over our collective commitment to a peaceful way of life in Castara. It is clear that the individual in question has used their legally armed status as a cover for unlawful and dangerous behavior.
The incident occurred last Saturday as Castara was preparing for its Fisherman Fete, according to Junior Kwashi.
Saturday night, my son called me and told me he can't be shot. So, I think, okay, I call the police, and when the police come, I will come after.
Kwashi's son, Kashron, was involved in an accident that damaged the wall of a residence. However, when Kashron attempted to apologize and arrange a way to pay for the damages, shots were fired at his car.
My son was about 4 feet from where he gunshot fire. 4 feet from where he shot fire. And there was a young guy even closer than that.
The incident ignited anger among residents. Church leaders, community figures, and regular villagers voiced their objections. They highlighted their dedicated efforts to position Castara as an exemplary and globally recognized tourist destination, vowing not to tolerate any further occurrences of such nature.
We don't grow up in a village where because a man bong supposed to come out and shoot him, we don't back them shots.
And we are the people that stand for principle. We are law-abiding people. But we stand for what is wrong against any condition.
In Castara today, we are standing together to say no.
We won't allow legally armed, should I say, terrorists or hooligans to plague our community.
Either conform to our way of life based on responsible firearm ownership, or consider this community no longer your home.
Speaking on behalf of the Chief Secretary, who is out of the country, Dwayne Nurse expressed his support for the unified action of the residents.
This is what embodies a community fighting against crime. This is not a community, as far as I am seeing here and I've heard thus far, a community that is against any one individual, but against any behavior or conduct that would seemingly disrupt the peace here.
The matter is attracting the attention of the police. However, the residents of Castara remain clear in their resolve to protect the image and reputation of the community.
Form to a way of life or get out. And we are noted for putting out rubbish for the rubbish truck to pick it up.
I am Candice Jackson for Tobago Updates Television News.
The Cabo Star was towed to Trinidad for repairs today after an engine room fire which disrupted its sailings. Passengers endured almost 18 hours on the cargo ferry due to the unavailability of a Coast Guard vessel. In light of this, a stakeholder is advocating for Tobago to own a dedicated marine emergency response unit for timely assistance. Candice Jackson has the details.
Engineers are currently tasked with determining the cause of the engine room fire on the Cabo Star. The vessel was towed to Trinidad on Friday. Interestingly, the Cabo Star had recently returned from dry dock after undergoing repairs a few weeks ago. In the meantime, the Port Authority, upon disembarking, all passengers underwent medical examinations in a designated area at the terminal. While 63 Tobago-based passengers returned home, 4 traveled to Trinidad on the Galleon's Passage. Furthermore, the Port Authority arranged accommodation for 13 passengers at a guest house. All 92 passengers and crew endured 18 hours on the vessel without electricity due to the unavailability of an appropriate Coast Guard response vessel. In 2017, an interceptor was assigned to Tobago, which is currently undergoing repairs. The 2 newly acquired Cape-class vessels have been assigned to different locations in Trinidad. Addressing the issue, Alvin Douglas, former Coast Guard officer and head of the Tobago Marine Safety and Security Services, emphasized that this is a recurring yet significant problem.
It always starts where you have a vessel that is stationed in Tobago, and for some reason, for whatever reason, the powers that be feel that is better needed somewhere else. And Tobago is kept wanting.
Douglas believes the situation has serious implications and highlights a major deficiency in Tobago.
And because of that, you need to have a safety response specifically geared to treat activities on the mooring coast. We have fishermen missing all the time.
Given Tobago's numerous water-related activities, Douglas asserts that establishing an independent marine safety unit is crucial.
I think it's the mandate of the Tobago House of Assembly to make sure that there is some way that they can call upon professionals to go out there in the unlikely event of an incident.
Candace Jackson, Tobago Updates Television News.
As the hurricane season progresses, Director of the Tobago Emergency Management Agency, Alan Stewart, urges residents to brace for potential natural disasters. Tanika Cruikshank tells us more.
TEMA's Director Alan Stewart emphasized that the nation must focus not only on response but also on preparedness, an approach involving planning and readiness before disaster occurs. This minimizes impact and speeds up recovery.
How do you prevent? How do you mitigate? How do you respond? And how do you recover? Or what some may consider to have rehabilitation or get back on your feet, things like that, or get back to normalcy once again. And these are the major elements that one must take into consideration.
Stewart highlighted that Tobagonians are often bombarded with different messages about disasters. He urges citizens not to confuse a disaster and a hazard, as the latter represents threats and forthcoming risks with the potential to harm people, activities, property, and the environment.
By human beings that results in a hazard impacting an exposed society. And these exposure, we are talking about our infrastructure, we are speaking about our ecosystem, our environment, we are speaking about our spatial development and where we built and how we built.
Stewart explained that structures lacking proper construction or weather resilience are more prone to disasters outcome. He emphasized that the importance of educating and informing the population enables individuals to comprehend the hazards they might face and take necessary precautions.
How you prepare through education, procurement of items, ensuring that families across the societies have an emergency plan, things like that, in terms of readiness for any eventuality. But apart from that, there may be issues that you can undertake.
Tanika Cruikshank, Tobago Updates Television News.
When we return, we'll tell you about the underdogs in the 2023 FA Cup. Sport is next.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
There's a new date for Tobago Swim Fest, September 17th, 2023. Come and witness the main event, the 4-kilometer swim from Pigeon Point to Buku Point. More than $25,000 in prizes. It's a family affair, so come out from 11 a.m. on the beautiful Buku Beach. There'll be swimming races, sandcastle building, and seafood on sale. Come and enjoy a fun day at the beach. Calling swimmers from Crown Point to Charlottesville. Registration on the day.
Welcome to sport. An injury has prematurely ended Joshua James's third year with the Jamaica Talawas in the ongoing Caribbean Premier League. This news disappoints numerous fans in Tobago who anticipated more from this budding cricket star in the tournament. More in this report from sport reporter Marcus Daniel.
This one's been swung away. 6 runs. Joshua James, the big fella.
Joshua James, the sole representative from Tobago in the 2023 Caribbean Premier League, will be sidelined for the rest of the tournament due to a recurring back injury. James, a West Indies emerging player, had been signed by defending champions Jamaica Talawas for his third consecutive season. Brian Brown, James's personal coach, expressed disappointment but stated the primary objective is to now ensure Joshua's complete recovery.
He knows where he has to work. Fitness is an issue, and not just an issue. Fitness across the board. If you look at the teams that are doing extremely well, are the teams that have the fittest players.
Right.
India and the Australia and the England. Those guys are super athletes. You know, and gone are the days when West Indies used to have the super athletes. You know, so we would have dropped the ball at some point. You know, taken an eye off what is important. You know, towards the game. You want to be a genuine athlete. You want to be able to run around and dive around. You want to be able to do it for a long period. You know, you want to do it, you know, even I dare say recklessly, because that is how I was. You're not worrying about being injured. You're not worrying about getting tired. You're just giving it your all.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, Joshua know where he's at, and you know where he's supposed to be.
Yeah.
So, you know, we just have to try and...
Brown mentioned that he received calls from the West Indies Cricket Board, Trinidad and Tobago Cricket Board, and the Tobago Cricket Association regarding the next steps for Joshua.
All the levels are genuinely interested in him, right? And for these people to call, it means that Joshua has something, or some potential, if we want to use that word. He has something that they think that they need.
Marcus Daniel, Tobago Update Sports.
A 1-0 victory was sufficient for Eagles FC to progress into the 2023 FA Cup hosted by the Tobago Football Association. As one of the underdog teams in the tournament, our sport reporter Marcus Daniel is here to provide an overview in this report.
The Tobago Football Association began the 2023 FA Cup with 2 matches earlier this week. In the knockout competition, newcomers Eagles FC secured a 1-0 victory against Canby Mount Pleasant at the Montgomery Recreation Ground. After a balanced first half with opportunities from both sides, Navi Roach capitalized in the 65th minute, securing the game's lone goal. Consequently, Canby Mount Pleasant advances to the round of 16. Meanwhile, at the Sid Gray Sporting Complex, defending league champions Sidis FC appeared poised for an easy triumph against the Castawa Gold City. However, Castawa mounted a late comeback, equalizing and pushing the game into penalties. Sidis clinched the win 4-2 in the shootout. Marcus Daniel, Tobago Update Sports.
And that's it for sport. When we come back, we have more news right after this.
Summerama, real steam for the summer at Standard. Is a dream for the summer. Dreamy, steamy, Standard. What you have? All the best deals, no drama. Standard be beat like a hammer. Go tell your friend, tell your papa, tell your mama. We got more. Standards have what you're searching for. Quality brand, discounts galore. New things for the summer, online in store. Summertime is here, so make the most out of it at Standard. Never beaten on quality and price. It's nice.
Tobago, after freeness is more speed and better TV. Get a free Samsung smartphone and free installation, plus 200 megabits per second, Paramount Plus, and more for only $299 with a select 200 plan from Flow. Visit online at discoverflow.co today.
October will never be better with Tobago Carnival Fever. Okay, passage and come on over.
From the experts that created the Zinger sandwich comes the KFC Crispy Barbecue Zinger.
The only one I see is you.
Cheddar cheese, crispy onions, the most delicious Kentucky Fried Chicken, and barbecue sauce. Get ready for a whole new level of flavor.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago.
Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Morning, good morning, put a smile on.
The Tobago Regional Health Authority's internship program concluded today with a graduation ceremony. This initiative placed students across hospitals, health centers, and administrative offices for practical experience. Reporter Tanika Cruikshank provides more details.
Commencing on June 26, the TRHA internship program enlisted 53 interns, encompassing CXC, A-levels, first degree and first master's degree students. The program aims for their eventual employment with TRHA, fostering a sense of commitment, according to the Director of Research, Project and Operation Management, McKay Prince Martin.
Intent was twofold. One, to greatly expose the multifaceted and dynamic entity that is the TRHA and to create awareness for medical specialties and subspecialties. Two, develop a pool of young aspirants who channel their academic background to eventually return and fill the jobs within the TRHA.
Martin explained that the interns' participation in this program facilitated personal growth and experience, bridging the divide between academic theory and practical application.
The return of this annual July-August internship program is indicative of yet another step in our phased approach to return to normal operations. Collectively, the Board of Directors and Executive Management acknowledge the importance of providing the island's youth with opportunities for personal and career development.
Secretary of Health, Wellness and Social Protection, Dr. Faith B. Israel, emphasized that this opportunity should be used to acquire healthcare insights and contribute to the nation's well-being.
Knowing, fortunately or unfortunately, that many of the complaints that we get from clients is simply because we have health professionals who are not doing what they love.
After completion, the students expressed their gratitude for the practical experience they gained, enhancing their understanding of healthcare operations.
Everywhere I went, I could see the hard work being put in, and I see a lot of people passionate about the job.
I'm very thankful that you all chose me. I learned so much from this experience, and I would love. I'll talk to Miss Allison this morning. I have another one next year.
Tanika Cruikshank, Tobago Updates Television News.
Recapping the headlines, CAL assures Tobagonians that the Airbridge is prioritized. Stakeholder calls for emergency marine response unit. Castara villagers unite against gun violence. And in sport, injury benches Joshua James for the rest of the CPL tournament. I'm Patricia Nicholson-Richards, thanking you so much for joining us, and do enjoy the rest of your night and weekend.